Hello and greetings, everyone. It is GleeCon here again, and I'm bringing you another episode of Lore of Warcraft. Me and Millie, it's not a solo show. I couldn't do it without her and our other assorted cast of tunes. On our last episode, we continued reading War of the Scaleborn. It was a shorty, as we kicked off the final section of the book War of the Scaleborn. It's just Iridikron versus all of the aspects. He's trying to create more primal, whatever, primalists, but he keeps failing. None can survive the transformation. And he's just digging in. We've also been playing World of Warcraft Classic, so let's dive right in with Maleficent as we catch up with what she's been doing. And what's happening in life, the World of Warcraft life. Because we spend enough time talking about mine. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, cool. So we have no error with Questy. It's been a while, and we're gonna do the this little quest area right here with the excavation stuff. So let's talk to Prospector Welgar, who has a quest called Uncovering the Path.
Just before the invasion, I uncovered a large tablet called the Goaz Stone. The translated text breaks off in 4 places. The text speaks of a divine plan and a doomed prophecy. I fear we are running out of time. I'm too old to go down and brave those beasts. But you are strong. Scour the excavation site and uncover the 4 missing tablet fragments. Eidos, Moda, Golm, and Neru. Search for them in ancient artifacts or where the soil is loose. Bring them to me so I can begin unlocking the mystery.
Yeah, normally when you're like excavating artifacts and you uncover ancient tablets that say like Doomsday Prophecy, End of the World, blah blah blah. Normally that means we gotta rush because these have been here for millennia, but we better get on it right now. That's usually my first thought, like, oh my gosh, we uncovered this tablet. It must be happening like tomorrow. But before we even get into catching up on Millie, let's just get some housekeeping in order. Sorry, yesterday we didn't have time for an episode. I'll explain shortly, as briefly as possible, after we pick up this quest right here from Ormer Ironbraid, who has a quest called Ormer's Revenge.
The situation is severe, that much is for sure. When we uncovered these bones, it attracted the raptors. These filthy beasts killed my brethren and trapped me. Merrin and the poor Prospector up here helped clear the wetlands of these raptors, adventurer. Mottled raptors and mottled screechers are just west of the bluff there. Kill 10 of each if you can. That will be a good start to the vengeance I have planned for them.
A good start to the vengeance. Does that mean we'll have more vengeance? Maybe. Yeah, so I had this is a hectic work week for me. And then yesterday, so basically I have this assignment at work, and it normally takes me, sometimes I'll stretch it over a week and I'll mix in my other responsibilities. And if not, if I really focus down, it's something I can usually finish in about 2 work days, 15-ish hours. However, with President's Day, I had 1, and they threw this at me last minute, so I had very little planning. So I got about halfway through, and then I was going to be like, you know what? Screw it. It's just going to have to get done when it's getting done. And I was just inundated. So, and I had to coach a soccer game last night, which went terribly, by the way. We lost 6-0. So I got to teach the boys, how to have grace in utter humiliating defeat. That's always fun. But, we'll just keep training. Hit it up again on the next match. I be coaching a girls' game tomorrow, so we'll just have to see how that goes. These little tablets, I did this quest a little while ago with my wife. I know they're around here somewhere. So I got home in the evening. It was time for dinner. And by the time I had dinner, it's like 8 o'clock at night. And I'm just, in the meantime, I go check my stuff, and I'm just blown up, inundated with messages like from my bosses and coworkers, and they just all want this freaking project, like acting life or death. Like they just can't figure out their stupid lives without it. So I felt terrible, and I was like, well, I'm going to bust it out. So I sat at my computer desk instead of making a video. And I was working until 2 a.m. because I have to write some code and push some things out to the whole company. And I was very grumpy boy at work today after having worked until 4 freaking a.m. So I think these treasures, they look differently. Like that one was a vase, the one was in dirt. Like you actually have to find specific ones. Also, if you notice, these raptors aren't the raptors. See, look, that vase respawned. The dirt has spawned over there, but we need other things. They actually look different. There's one right there. This, see, the fragments are actually not like random spawns. They come from distinct spawn points. See, this one's like this, I don't know, tomb or something. And then right on the walking out the door today, there's, oh, hey, we need this other thing, blah, blah, blah. And I just refused. I was like, yeah. So I just punted it. I was like, you know what? I'll do that one first thing. I'm not working again tonight. It's a shorter thing. Typically it might take me about an hour. I could probably bust it out. It's a shorter thing. So I'll just have to come in and get right to it, and hopefully whoever's there can wait an hour. They just hit me with a disease. Little turkey. I want this right here is what I'm trying to go for. I don't know.
I need to get closer.
Come on. He's like in this weird spot. I'm gonna probably have to use a potion. I did. That was just bad planning. I was greedy. I should have just killed this thing. I should have looked at what this poison is even going to do to me here. But I wanted this last thing because greedy little girls will come. Or boys. You know, whatever. Not greedy. We all have equal. What does this do? Oh, I take extra damage from getting hit. Alright, so we already completed that quest. That was good. But before we run up there, let's continue to kill these modeled raptors and modeled screechers. We actually have to go around and kill. Yeah. So that's it. I won't bore you with more of that crap. But that's the reason why I would much have preferred been playing with Maleficent last night instead of doing spreadsheets and writing software programs until freaking 2 in the morning. My wife was at work and I was just like texting her every like 100 lines of program. And I would just be like, it's probably about like 1,500 lines that I have to write and go through and double check and test, and freaking, some are easy. Sometimes it goes off without a hitch, and sometimes it's longer. And then I had to deal with it today. So the only other real life thing is, I gotta say, it's been cold around here lately. So I'm wearing this sweater, which is, helps protect me from the chill. But when I'm in here under the lights, it is hot. And I'm gonna try to make it through. I rolled up my sleeves, but there's a chance I'm gonna have to take the sweater off. And I'm not gonna be inappropriate, but underneath all these clothes, I'm naked. So we're gonna see just how much I can tough it out. Alright, here's the weaker raptors that we need. I wonder if we have like 2 rounds of... Oh, she's about to ding to 29 too. Kill a couple raptors and Millie will be there. Remember, our goal for her is to get her to 30 like everybody else. She's the only one that is sub 30. Alright, so last time Maleficent, what did she do? She killed some murlocs. She killed some gators. we just kind of ran around and did a bunch of... We killed some slimes. We kind of cleared this area, but these quests are nice and condensed, so we really should be in good shape. Nothing is orange. Everything's green or yellow. And yeah, it should be good. Ooh, and I am happy. I really think if my estimation was correct in like 2 episodes until we're done with this zone, that means Friday we'll wrap this zone up. And that means by Sunday, we'll be starting our run of dungeons. We do have one in there. I'm going to sprinkle in. I'll assign one of the shorter like quest pickups or something like that for the Horde. Like Nomergon quest pickups for the Horde. That's a good one. Because Nomergon Horde quests are little to none. So I'll assign maybe the quest pickups to like Farinel, because he actually has some Warlock quests that we need to do. And oh man, I've been doing some of the Warlock quests with my wife. We've seriously spent the past like week and a half, because we only play a couple times a week, just running around doing Warlock quests. Dang it. There's a Screecher. Let's see if I can get this Screecher and help this hunter out. Nope, I did not. Tried to help. I did help a little bit. I pulled him off. That will help him in the long run. See, look, there you go. He calls for help. Because we need 10... Oh, he resisted. We need 10 raptors, 10 screechers. And the screechers I really don't think are much tougher, other than the fact that they screech. They call for help. You really got to be strategic in how you... Also, animals don't run, so... Well, actually, I don't know. A couple of them do. There's a screecher over there. But at least they're green. At least we're getting XP. Now, some of these I think are going to phase out to not being green as soon as we ding here. Alright, so this screecher might give us some problems. So I've also been playing my off... I've been working. So I just finished Westfall with the Alliance, and there are... Well, for the most part, I actually discovered something which it's going to help us later. There's actually a level 40 quest line for Alliance only in Westfall. Now, we don't have anybody that's level 40 yet, but we will have to make sure that we do a run back there and pull it off when we get somebody up to level 40. I've notated it in my logs. But I never even knew that quest existed. Alright, Millie, what are we going to give you? I could give her Cold Snap. Let's see. Let's just kind of take a Google here. Classic. Wow. Mage talents. I know she does need Frost Snap, but that talent doesn't do that much for me. She's doing the Arcane Power Frost. So, that's why she does pretty solid damage. So, in this build, you need those top 2 tiers, which she has. You need the ice shards from the 2nd tier, which she has. From the 3rd tier, you need that. Piercing ice. Oh, you don't take frost up, which she has. So, the only other thing is giving her 1 point of Arctic Reach. And that's it. So, this is her last frost skill she's going to pick up, and I'm going to start working on Arcane Power after this. So it gave me a 10%. It gives me the range of Frostbolt and Blizzard, which she doesn't use Blizzard that much, and my radius for Cone of Cold and Frost Nova a little higher. Go ahead and get this copper while I'm over here. Oh yeah, her bags are... actually doing okay on copper. She's got 13. You know what? Screw it. I'm not going to get the copper. Alright, let's just keep killing these guys. So she'll start working on power. Yeah, see, I noticed that range kicked in a little bit earlier. Yeah, I know it is. I know it is.
I'm out of range.
The hunter is over here hunting my stuff.
Far away.
So, yeah, I'm to the point now. It's kind of crazy how this snuck up on me, but I feel like in past years I haven't really ever been in a spot where I was sad. Actually, this time period we're in right now, where we've got about 6 months before any kind of real content updates happen in WoW, this would be alt city for me right now. But I'm not interested in that. I just don't feel like making alts right now. All my other alts, most of them I didn't run through Dragonflight, so I was a little bummed. So I really have nothing. The only thing I have to do is achievement hunting, which I do like to do, and I have not done that in a while. Really what stopped my passion for that was I got to this one achievement where I was working on. It's a Najatar achievement where you have to I think it's called, like, I'm gonna need a bigger bag or something like that, but you have to get every rare drop from every rare spawn. So the rare spawns are hard enough to find. And then you need every rare drop from it. So, just not. It's super, super annoying. I'm like, maybe, and it's so many of them too. So many. I feel like there's probably like 50 things you need. I think I'm like halfway through. But there's not a lot to it. You're just grinding and just hoping, camping mobs nonstop. Just don't feel like it. So there are some Dragonflight, because that's an exploration quest for BFA, which I had every quest achieve in the game except for like 10,000 world quests and 10,000 dailies, and I think I'm like, I don't know, 8,000 dailies or 9,000 dailies in, and world quests I'm just like around 5,000 or something. Which I feel like I do tons of world quests. It's just, like, I mean, you could do you could bust it out if that was my single-minded purpose. I could just go back to whenever they started world quests. Don't remember when they were. I want to say Legion, maybe. I think that's when world quests started. Alright, so, ooh, that was a nice crit. Yeah, see, my other guy's doing Frost, and he is focusing. So we don't need any more modeled, we need all Screechers now. But yeah, my off-camera guy, the guy that I'm working on our spreadsheet for, so the Alliance one, he's finished Westfall, except for that level 40 quest. I've notated it. I don't like that. It kind of gives me like a twitch. I'm trying to do everything in a zone, and you are making me come back in 20 levels? Not cool, bro. But from the flip side, it is kind of cool, like, that you can, oh man, if you just happen to be in the area, like, what? There's a level 40 quest? Which, if you didn't have Questy, I don't even know how on earth you would know if you didn't have Questy. Like, how in your right mind would you just be like, oh yeah. Okay, we just need the Screechers. We need 4 more. Just gotta find them. They're kind of annoying. I kind of remember doing this with my wife a few months ago. There's one. So he's going to be doing Deadmine soon, but there's actually about 10 quests that the Horde can do too, so I took my Horde character, and it's actually not that hard to get there. As Horde, I was like, oh man, I'm going to have to travel to Westfall, this is going to be a pain in the butt. It's actually not that hard. I think you can, what's the map? Come over here. Yeah, if you go down to Booty Bay, you can actually just swim up the coast. And since I'm a druid, I had aquatic form. I just got an aquatic form and swam up the coast, and it really, I didn't die. I didn't have any issues. It was It was actually pretty easy. And then when you swim through the top of it, you're right there at the bottom of Westfall. They directly connect. Stranglethorn Vale and Westfall directly connect. All right, so we need to. There's another Screecher. Good. Yeah. What do we need? 2 more, 3 more, 3 more. So the arc. Ooh, my legs fall asleep. I'm telling you, I'm sore today. I'm so old that I had a very busy day, and when you bust that out with 4 hours of sleep or less, that's not a good combo for an old soul like myself, an old body. Maybe I'm a young soul, but I am an old body. So we have... I mean, this zone's cool. Actually, when I was thinking, because remember I said I was going to try and think of some stuff, the actual things I was thinking about were... like, stuff that's going on in retail. That's kind of where my head's at today, so I've been playing some... Yeah, so the only thing I have left to do other than the achievement hunt is what's it called? The Azerothian Archives or something like that. So it's a faction that you can get that it doesn't give you anything good. I don't really know what the perks are for leveling up the faction, in all honesty. Okay, we're going to go turn these 2 in. I truly don't, because you can I already have the mount, and I could give 0 craps about... I used to care about transmogs a lot, but now they're so abundant. I don't even care. I have enough cool ones. I don't care. And I absolutely don't care about transmogs for my profession gear. Like, okay, give me another archaeologist hat or a skinning transmog knife. Like, I just don't care. I don't use them. When my son was younger, like 8, 9, before he became a 13-year-old freaking emo gamer boy, which I love my son. Son, you ever listen to this? Love you to death. I don't think you will now, but like, let's say, some reason in your life you're like, I love my dad. I want to come back and listen to these now that I'm older. Also, never going to happen. But let's pretend we live in a world where it does. He's just going through being 13. It's what gets me is, and maybe a lot of parents feel this way. To me, he's just so different than the way he looks, and even the way I hear him mess like with his friends. Like there's all these, we're all so many different people. We truly are, and I think that's one of the fun parts of life. But, like with me, he's respectful, and he can be fussy and be a teenager, and he's intelligent and modulated. But, Shirks he prefers to not have to do responsibilities, as we all do, but, he's particularly lazy, and, that comes with time, I guess, hopefully. He's probably the laziest of my 4 kids. But then there are times like today, I just had this great moment of parenthood where one of his friends was talking about something, just dismissing something, the unnecessary blah, blah, blah. And I just heard him defending this, and it's...
Killing is a dirty business, but you did your job well, adventurer. If I weren't obligated to stay with the Prospector and Merrin, I'd be down there shedding blood right alongside you. Now it's time to really make those dreaded raptors regret their bloodthirst. Just down below, there are scores of mottled scythe-claws and mottled razor maws. Make those rotten creatures pay by slaying 10 of each.
Alright, I figured that was coming. We're gonna have to kill the other things. But I heard him, he didn't, I'm in the other room, he's on the headset playing games, talking to his friends.
What's on your mind?
Have you uncovered the 4 fragments of yet maleficent Eidos, Mulder, Golem, Neru?
Ah, the Goa stone is complete. Fine work, adventurer, fine work indeed. Now I can continue with the delicate translation of this Titan script. I can make out new words already. It says here, old gods, chained beneath the land. This is the beginning of something epic.
It sure is, but they leave us off there. We don't get to see anything cool. However, I will take these shoulder pads. Ooh, they look much cooler. And they're a pinch better. One better armor point, and we swap one spirit out to gain another intellect, which is very good for us. But basically, the kid was dismissing, like, you know, we shouldn't have to do this. And, you know, I work with data all the time. I work for the government. That's one of the, you know, things that come out. And the kid was like, oh, you know, we shouldn't have to do this. School doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. And he starts saying, like, you know, when you don't do that, you're basically, you know, negatively, you're making the rest of, like, your school and your teacher look bad and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, you're like, basically, he was, like, defending the institutions, due to his friend's laziness, and it was like he didn't know I was listening. It was funny. It was just like you don't know what they're absorbing, and to hear him take this like mature, responsible approach, even though he himself is lazy, but to know that all these lectures Dad gives about the importance of things that might seem trivial or mundane or boring or obnoxious, that they actually have a matter, that, and especially, and this makes my heart sing because I'm a data guy, that it makes the data, that the data matters, that there's a point behind it, that he just gets all that. It's like, I don't know, I couldn't help it. The moments are a lot harder, you know, when they're young and they love you and they're so sweet, it's so easy, and then when they get to be like the 13 and 14, 15, 16, that age, when they are just so emo and moody, it's probably a better word than emo, and greasy, and they have pimples and all, you know, all this stuff that pops out. It's not as easy. Like every night, him and I still say prayers, and you know, tell him that I love him, and I kiss him goodnight, even though, you know, he's that age. But you know, when you're 19, when you're 9, it's one thing. When you're 6 and 5 and cute, it's one thing. When you are a greasy haired little teenager who I know is just trying to hopefully have Dad get out of the room as fast as possible so he can, I don't know, look at pictures of anime or something like that. Oh, that takes a little bit of it out of it. You're like, oh man, this is gross. I've been through it too many times. He's the baby, so I've been around the block. But it still exists, and having a kid there's just so many phases of it, and it's a different kind of pride because it's almost better. When they're little, they're awesome and they love you and it's unconditional. When they're older, if they still love you and they spout the party line that Dad's saying, Mom or whatever, it's different because it's like they are smart and they can make their own decisions, but they still decided that they love you. And sure, middle school is not, you know, they'll grow more into their own person even more as time goes on. I mean, I would say you'll be in your 20s and you'll still be changing. But, you know, let's talk about what's really important, which is killing these raptors. We have modeled scythe claws, which I think it's kind of ironic that we spend so much time, we're getting these, like, whatever, relics, I guess. And as we mess around with that, we're killing dinosaurs. So there is this weird kind of juxtaposition of you're looking for fossils, you're doing all this, but then you're also like directly contributing to extinction of dinosaurs. Did you like how they just slipped in an old gods thing right there? And that's one of the other cool things about playing Classic. It's like there's a lot of reasons why it's fun to play this game, but a big part of it is like, I would say my biggest fantasy, and I might have talked about this on the show over the years too, and it just doesn't go away. It's like not a recurring dream, it's like a recurring daydream. But I would say if I could have one, like I rub a lamp and a genie comes and I get one wish, I wish I could keep my everything I know now and go back to whatever, middle school again. I wouldn't say go back all the way to the beginning, because I think like, well, what's the cutoff? I would say elementary doesn't matter as much. I mean, you have to do some things to get yourself. So for me, it would be important to be like on an advanced track, because I had, I squandered life when I was young, but I think that's always been a little thing that I wanted to do, and I think this game kind of lets you do that, you know? Like, that's one of the cool things about Classic. We know where this is all gonna go. It's like, I've been watching with my son Star Wars, the Clone Wars, the cartoon show. And anytime you do something like that, you watch a show, I'm trying to think, there's something else I watched or read, what the heck was it? Maybe it was a prequel movie, a prequel show, I really can't freaking remember. I was having this conversation with my wife the other day too. But when, you guys on this show, when we're reading War of the Scaleborn, that's what it was. So you have these moments where you're like, yeah, everything can be good, but you lose some of that dramatic tension when you know which characters are going to survive and stuff like that. You can, with Nos Dormu, they can get around that a little bit here, with the time ways, they can say, and the Marvel Universe kind of gets around some of that by doing the alternate timelines, so there's ways you can cheat the system. Technically, the Day of the Dragon and the Night of the Dragon, which we haven't read yet, they can kind of get away with some of that too, same way. So you lose some of that, but it's also kind of cool to come back and see like how it all began. Like when we're reading this, to know like, oh hey, well, we know what the old gods are, we know what they're going to cause, we know everything that's coming. But for us, it's also, like, for this character, this is some of the first we're hearing of the old gods at all. You get little snippets here and there. I mean, technically, the way we're playing, even though it has come out, we're not even addressing, like, Dire Maul yet, where you get to see Choke Call and the Twilight Hammer clan and all that stuff. Alright, so we're doing pretty good with the kills. Somehow I'm staying balanced at 6 and 6. I don't like that stupid disease I keep getting. And we've managed to do the archaeology quest, finish it. There's not a second one. And I think this might be the only other raptor quest. So we're making good progress on that, and we're almost done with that, the second one, and we're only halfway through the episode. So that's pretty good. We'll come back and drop that off, but before we do, I think we'll do the Dragon Maul Warbanner clan too, before we head back. I think we should easily be able to get those, finish what we're doing right now, and go back there, which will leave us this Reclaiming Goods, the Crocodile skin. Yeah, it's going to be tight. We'll see. We might take 6 episodes, which will push that dungeon stuff over to Tuesday. I'm telling you, I got about a month of really dense work before I get like a kind of a lull of a couple weeks in. I was mapping out my year, and it is over the next like 3 months. I have maybe like 3 weeks where I'm not like slammed. at work. So I am just
I'm not afraid.
trying to find those. This week is not one of them. No, but with the soccer going on, that's really, I mean, I do it for next to nothing. Time commitment's a lot. I just have such a hard time saying no. My wife has my long-suffering wife. I always just sign up for so much. Cuzzy was saying the other day that I have a good work ethic. I don't know. I think I must, but we don't always see ourselves that way. I was actually just in a meeting the other day and talking about like as a higher up, you're supposed to tell other people how to be better at their job. That's part of the deal. And as I go through that, I do it, but when I was talking to my boss, I was like, do you ever feel like an imposter? I was like, sometimes I feel like I'm an imposter. Like, what makes me as a human being more qualified to tell people that are older than me or have been working longer than me or whatever, even if they maybe are not as successful, like within an organization, or they haven't been doing that particular role as long as me, or as long as I did in the past or whatever. It's just, I wonder if anybody out there that has that kind of experience of being a manager, is it just me? Is it my own insecurities? Or is there like this feeling, this almost like this imposter syndrome where you're like, what the heck gives me the right to tell people, I don't know, maybe, and I think some people don't struggle with that. They're like, I see how you can be better, let me tell you, and maybe that is holding me back, and if I can kind of get better and just get over that and look at it through a different lens. Like, I don't have any problems like that when I'm coaching. I mean, I've been coaching for 20 years, but I don't have any problems like that then. I tell those guys, teenagers and young men, I tell them what I need them to do. But yeah, man, that 6-0 game, whew, it was some bad soccer. Just fell apart. All right. I just can't help myself. I told myself, I was like, I'm committed. I'm gonna just only talk about Warcraft. And then here I go. So I did the Azerothian, whatever the heck it's called. I've been working on that. I'm only into the second rank because there's just, well, at first I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? There's like a handful of world quests every week. You get 300 rep each. It takes like 10,000 rep to rank up. There's 5 total ranks. So I'm guessing you need to rank up 4 times. Was that the last one? We did. That was the last one. We did it. We got our raptors. I just wasn't even paying attention and we just killed them all. There's the ramp over there. And then there's a weekly where you can get like 3,000 rep. So if you did nothing else other than the dailies and the weeklies, you could, I guess, finish it in 8-ish weeks. Give or take, I think. But I was like, man, really? There's got to be a way. And then I realized if you just hang around the dig site, there's like, it's called the Big Dig or something like that. You can get infinite rep. You can only just do it once every hour. And within that hour, you can get a few hundred. 300, 400, 500 rep. So I guess you could hypothetically get about $5-6 grand a day if you never slept. He just came on every hour. So you do that, that's 35 to 40,000 in 1 week. So if you really just lived on the game, you could finish it in a week. Plus you do the quest line. The quest line gets you almost 1 whole rank. All right, dude, we did your revenge for you.
You did a bang-up job of clearing out those raptors, adventurer. While you were down there, I happened to notice that one of those beasts stood out from the rest. He was bigger and more menacing. I bet he's the one who led the others here to cause the disruption to the dig site. I ask of you now one final task, adventurer. See to it that Sorreltooth is brought to justice, and considering the gravity of his crimes, justice in this case means death. Bring me one of his talons as proof of his death.
Will do. I remember this. I was going to say, I kind of felt like I remember doing this quest where I went up on these cliffs. This is where it is. So we got to kill Sorreltooth. He's, whatever. He spawns in one place, and it's not a big deal. I could use Featherfall here if I wanted, but... Oh my gosh. Danger, danger, danger. I can blink if I have to. I can leave my friends behind. But my friends don't blink, and if they don't blink, they're no friends of mine. There we go. I just want to get out of there so I can eat some of this delicious rye bread. She's baking bread, you know. She's got a lot of yeast going on. No, I don't mean that. I'm sorry, Millie. You're a good girl. I don't know if you're old or young or what the deal is with your Elvira Gray haircut, but I apologize for insinuating that you were a yeasty mama. You are not. Definitely up there in my fave characters. So there we go. You know, we got some time to kill. Let's rank. Now that we're almost at the halfway point. We're at the halfway point as far as leveling goes. Let's rank our characters, because we've already ranked classes. Everybody loves a good rank. Okay, so we'll look at them in the order that we made him. Eritor, he started out, I did not like him. Sam I Am, I did not enjoy the experience of leveling him. Just was not fun. And really, right about the time we went on that quest and we got the Paladin Hammer, that coincided with some talent, the ret spec really kicking off. And he is really high up there now. He is one of my favorites. Just quite a good character. So, he's evolved. What is up with these people? They're probably waiting to camp Sorreltooth. I don't want to have to wait for the respawn because it's like a 5-minute timer. I prefer not to have to fight him. There you go. We could beat him on our own. He's not an elite or anything. It's fine, but it's just about the respawn. I don't want to have to tab, and hopefully I can bust one off, and then what, you know? Then I stole it. This guy was here first. I feel bad. But I don't want to make you guys watch me. Okay, so second character we made was Varrock. I started out really liking him. But Protection Warrior is just freaking painful. Painful to level as. It's so painful. And it's taken a character that's one of my favorites and made him. Now, dungeon running, fine. But with all the solo content we do. And the problem is, you can't just switch your talents. You can't. So, I don't know what we're going to do with that guy. Maybe I need to find a two-handed gear, and so we can kind of quest with an arms-ish kind of style, but he doesn't get any of the talents, so it's just... he's asking about Seal of Red. Seal of Ren, I think that's... I can't remember. Let's look it up and see. Audience with the king, the attack. Items of some consequence. Unsent letter. Oh no. So that's what it is. So it starts with the unsent letter. Okay, yeah, so yeah, so it's the unsent letter you get from dead mines that leads to quests for stocks. And yeah, so he's asking. He must be somehow looking at my, like, inspecting my character to see the seal of Rin, which is a dope thing. But if you remember, I did that with almost all my characters on the Alliance just because it's such a good. My Knights of Stormwind is where we. That's actually most of my characters, my offline characters, especially when I play with my wife and stuff, and when I solo. That's my guild. They're a good guild for this server cluster, and they have recently started another version called a horde version called like Grunts of Orgrimmar. Doesn't have as much traction. It's all people from the same guild that also play Horde. And it's a pretty solid community. They're pretty helpful. Anybody out there that plays in it, that plays Classic, I'm sure you play anywhere in the server cluster that I play. I'm sure you've seen them around if you're not part of them yourself. They're a pretty big guild. I have had a few characters kicked because of the way that I play. I've had a few of my characters join that guild in this show. Possibly even including Maleficent, but they just... I will sometimes go a couple months, as we've talked about the other day when we did the math on that. Alright, so Varrock has really tumbled down the leaderboard for my 9 characters just because it's so freaking painful. But I'm hoping he can get some of that back. He's definitely going to earn his weight when we're doing this dungeon run over the next cluster of episodes because tanking dungeons is fun. And he'll be fine on that. We'll make a couple doing that. The Solitude dead. Have you redeemed the memory of the fallen?
Thank you, adventurer. Your efforts here will not be forgotten. Many innocent dwarves died at this site, simply doing their jobs. The vengeance you delivered to those evil creatures should make them think twice before attacking King Magni's subjects ever again.
Well, that was worth it because we got a new wand. The 4-point DPS upgrade, the excavation one. It's fire though. Ouch, that burns to the touch. And we got a recipe for the curiously tasty omelet so we can cook all those freaking raptor eggs we just kept getting. So that's good too, because we got a ton. Alright, so when we do our thing here. Now, we still have 15 minutes. You think we can kill some Dragon Maul? Let's get started. Let's try it. I'm willing to try if you guys are. Besides, we haven't fully ranked all our characters yet. Alright, the second person that we made, I think, was Nessingwary. He was never high on my list. I love him as a concept character. I love Nessingwary. He's got a great, story, backstory, whatever you want to call it. I have slowly improved as my skill, reluctantly, in my skills as a hunter. I am not good. I'm not good at kiting. I'm not good at timing those shots, but I am improving. And things you could do as a hunter are okay. He's okay. I would put him in the bottom echelons of guys. I just don't really... I don't know why. You know, like, Hunter's a popular class. But hey, everybody's different. A lot of people love Priest, too. But yeah, we'll entrench them later. Let's divide the 9 into 3 tiers. I likey, I'm neutral, they're bottom. Erator is sitting up in I likey. Varrock started off in the I likey to the at neutral, but he's tumbling, so he's going to be somewhere in the borderline between neutral and bad. Like, really not enjoyable to play. Okay. These guys are a little higher level, but we'll still be okay. Why? Why, bro? And then Nesting Wary is... I don't know. I was gonna say it could be like... I would have originally put him below Varrock. But I don't know if that's still true. I should have cross-bolted. He's dual-wielding, so he's just hitting very fast. What are we supposed to do? Oh, we're just supposed to get the war banners, so I see. It can drop off of any of them. Alright, then we made Talanji the Rogue. Even though we've struggled with her lately, I still like her a lot. I would say, but because of the struggles, I would put her in the middle category. With upward mobility potential. She could eventually end up being one of my top characters that I like to play by the time we get to Silithus, and it'll make it hard for me to abandon her. But for now, I'll put her in the middle. Okay, then we made Maleficent. Love her. This little, and you know, part of it's also that epic run that we had where she lasted the longest on the hardcore. I was thinking about doing that too. I mean, that's just such like a clickbait thing though. Like, it's all for the clicks. But playing hardcore for funsies on the new hardcore servers. Oh, we got our first banner. That is something I would maybe consider like as a side thing. Not in place of. I wouldn't want it to slow down our content. I would consider trying it out. Just doing it for fun. And then you guys could see me hopefully live and... I mean... Alright, so... But yeah, because of her epic history, and her being the last one alive, and the Loch Ness Monster heroes, which to this day is in... That is probably... my number one moment playing World of Warcraft in my entire life. That time with a hardcore... Well, she wasn't hardcore, but I was attempting to keep her alive and never die. So in a way, she was hardcore. And almost dying. And the guy jumping off the cliff and saving me from that Loch Ness Monster just... It was, and then with the line, not all heroes wear capes, but this one does. I mean, I just will never forget it. It was so fun. It was just World of Warcraft at its finest. So she's cemented in the top there because of that. Then my third horde was Muln, who I actually really enjoy him. For now, as we're ranking this, I'm going to put him in the top. Because I really like shamans, so it's a class thing. And he's not bad to play. But that could change. He might be that borderline middle. Because we had to switch him to Resto, and as we were treated like a meme spec, so... Then fourth, we made Shalacir. Originally, I really liked her. I'm not the biggest Druid fan. They're okay for me. She struggles at times. At times, she's good. I think she'll get better as she gets deeper into Feral. But for now, I'll put her firmly in the middle as well. So that's, if we're looking at it, if we're recapping, we definitely have 2 people in the top category. As we look, the 2/3 mark, Varrock and Maleficent. In the middle category, we have our rogue, we have our monk, our druid, and then with our bottom category, we have Varrock is tumbled down there, and also Nessingwary. Alright, so we have a space for 1 each if we look at the cloth at the other remaining characters. So Farinel as a druid, I'm leaning towards middle. I don't dislike playing him. Warlocks are just okay for me. I actually they used to be one of my least favorite classes in retail. Like at the end, around BFA time, BFA Shadowlands time, I really did not like playing them. That's what I was trying to get for, because my life is so low. There we go. I was trying to trigger that run state. That was a little bit tight. I was like, I think I can kind of kite him along enough that I can trigger that. Okay, then my... Did I miss somebody? Maybe. Because the 4th and last was Farinel, and then Callie. So I forgot to categorize someone. The Druid. Alright, so now we've got to reassess. So of the ones that I think Mullen gets to keep a spot up in the top. Because nobody challenged him. Everybody else has had their growing pains enough that we can say Maleficent, Erator, and Mullen, and of the 3 of them, I probably like Millie best. But that's just like a personal, because of her story. I think I've been having the most fun playing Erator lately, and Shamans are just fun. They've always been fun for me. So we could rank Mullen as number 3. Shamans are just, and that's really just because of his class. Sure, they all have a good story, but Mullen is, just Shamans are dope. Then in the middle, for our middle 3, let's see, Shalacy was there, Talanji was there, but she's on the lower side. And yeah, these guys are annoying, the ones that have the skeletons. I don't want to fight them. Since I'm just going for the banners, it doesn't matter which kind of fight. This might take us too long. Depends. If we can get a lucky couple drops in a row. I don't like that these guys keep netting me over here, but I guess you can blink out of the net, so. Alright, so I guess at the middle, I'd probably put Shalacyr up there at the top. She's pretty good. She's fun to play, so we can give her 4th place. Then we're looking at Talanji. She's kind of near the bottom. And... so who do I like less, the Rogue or the Warlock? Which is funny, because that's just both who we spent time in Stranglethorn Vale with. So which one really I think I still, even though the Warlock Farinel seemed to be more survivable, I really think I still enjoy playing the Rogue more. So I'm going to put her solid in the middle, and that's just my own prejudice, because I really like Rogue classes. They're fun. So she's kind of in the middle. And then we'll put Farinel at 6th place. Because he's still good too. And it's close. So now that has tumbled, where we have our bottom dwellers here. We have Nesting Wary because I don't like hunters. We have Callie because I don't like priests. And then we have poor Varrock, who has actually tumbled. And I would argue to say he has fallen into last place. He is probably the least enjoyable. I dread playing with him outside of dungeons. It's just not fun. He's so slow to kill, and that can change. 100% he has potential to become, heck, he can become the best character. He has that much variance. He's got the lowest floor and the highest ceiling. Yeah, see, I was like, yeah, maybe if we get lucky and we can...
I'm out of range.
Look at us, though. Also, if you look at our... We leveled up in this episode, and we're already halfway. That's crazy. That's crazy. Pretty good. Uh-oh. So we gotta get out of there fast. So, between... I would actually say, even though I hate priests and I've always hated them the most, Callie's not that bad to play. In Classic, doing her as a shadow priest, she's really not that bad. And I will say right now, I'll give her 8th place. 7th place, I mean. 7th place. And then we'll give 8th place to Nesting Wary just because he's more playable than Varrock. Varrock has tumbled into last place. We're halfway done. We've hit our hour. I think we can just call it here. We get the gist. So we're gonna wrap this up, turn those in, and we're gonna see how long those take us. Because of this, now I think because of these sets of quests, I think it's gonna take us one more episode. But because I am beat after my long behind day and the no sleep I'm going off of, I'm going to just chill up here in the mountain. We're going to call it here. We got another episode in the pipe, 5x5, in another day that I just appreciate being here with you all. Thanks, everybody. And see y'all next time on Lore of Warcraft.